in accordance with Islamic burial procedure. As Muslims have pointed out, there's nothing in the Quran about burying someone at sea. And then this started going around the internet. And they said, oh no, it wasn't put out by the government. It was them conspiracy theorists. They did it. This is after mainstream newspaper after mainstream newspaper has put it out as being Bin Laden, that one, right? And it's a Photoshop between Bin Laden and this guy here. And, but it's the conspiracy people that have been pointing out, or were pointing out, this is a bloody fake. Of course it was a fake. And then, after they bury him at sea, it says here, then they announced through this guy, they're not releasing Bin Laden photos to prove that it's him, not that you can trust photos the way they can mess with them now, because they're too gruesome. But when they wanted to prove that they'd killed his damn sons, those gruesome pictures were straight on the bloody screen. It's a total farce, a lie beyond belief, and there's the mainstream media. Immediately, what they say becomes official history. Bin Laden was at the compound. Well, Bin Laden, provably, nearly everybody involved accepts this, was from 2001 at least suffering from very, very serious renal failure, kidney failure, and was on dialysis to keep him alive. And it was specifically stated, I waited for it this week when they announced the compound they found him, that there was no dialysis machinery found at the compound, a compound where he's supposed to have lived without leaving for 5 years. Oh my God. And then it comes out, there was no live coverage of the killing of Bin Laden, alleged. So, what are they bloody looking at? Because that's what we were told this was. Somebody says, you know, should have turned the laptops on before we made the picture. Oh, he was hiding behind his wife, and he had an AK-47. Oh, no, he didn't. He was unarmed, and it wasn't his wife. Oh, my God, the story's changing by the second. And oh, this is lovely, this. This is today, in today's news. Now as the scepticism gets greater and greater, well, among people, not among journalists. How do you spell skeptic? I don't know. They've issued these home videos they found. Were there box cutters with it? They found in the compound. And they told me, because I read it, I saw it on CNN before I came here today, that this is Bin Laden watching himself on television, and he's flicking the channels, and every time he flicks the channels, he's on it. He must have got it at a very strange time. Now, what you're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not seen it before, is what you see. And they say, that's Bin Laden. All I can see is a hat, a nose, and a beard. That's all I can see. But we have to accept that's bloody Bin Laden. And then, also, oh, they found this. They found this in the compound. It just happens to be the same as this, released in 2007. and then in 2000 and what was it, 2005 or something like that, years after this, they issued this as new footage of Bin Laden. This is what the footage was. It was from 2002. I think it was 5 years later. I think that was a 2007 time as well. And they've been doing it all along. And I'll get, as we go through, where this stuff is coming from. So then the question for this nonsense is, who benefits? Well, who benefits? He benefits, because now he's getting standing ovations where he was getting abused for what he's done to America. And then, grotesquely, he goes along and milks it at a 9/11 commemoration a few days ago in New York, using the pain and suffering of the firefighters and the 9/11 families to start his run for office for another term. They are now getting more support for the whole kind of, you know, police state thing, because what they're saying is, oh, we've killed Bin Laden, hey, but that might mean more terrorism as a reprisal. So now we've got to have all this airport stuff at train stations and shopping malls. And they are looking for more support Go USA, go get 'em, John. In terms of more wars, and this is crucial too, I'll get to this as we go through this section. They want total control of Pakistan. They want to take Pakistan over for reasons I'll come to as we go through. And what have they done? They're demonizing Pakistan. You must have known Bin Laden was there. And they just happened to find him in a compound very close to the Pakistan Army Academy. All part of the process. Demonize Pakistan. And then, lambs to the slaughter. These were the scenes outside the White House when they announced Bin Laden was dead. Oh my God. There you go. Never mind the news. When's the game start? And so we go from problem reaction solution to, and no problem reaction solution to, it's bedfellow, which I call the totalitarian tiptoe. This is that you're starting at A and you know you're going to Z, but if you go into too big a leaps, the change is such that people look up from the game, some of them, and go, what's going on? And so you go as big a leap as you can, but not so big as you alert people to where what you're doing. And every time you move forward, you promote it as in isolation from every other move forward. And then after all these stepping stones have been made, these tiptoes, suddenly you look back and you think, my God, I didn't agree to this. Oh, you did, stepping stones. This says fascism. You really think it will be this obvious? Well, it's becoming that obvious now in many countries. But up to this point, it's been stepping stones, not too fast, although it's becoming a sprint now. And the totalitarian tiptoe, I've just described the European Union. This is Jean Monnet, the founding father of the European Union, they call him, and a Rothschild frontman. This is what he wrote in a letter to a friend one day after I was born, 30th of April, 1952. Europe's nations should be guided towards the superstate without their people understanding what is happening. This can be accomplished by successive steps, each disguised as having an economic purpose, but which will eventually and irreversibly lead to federation. The stepping stones totalitarian tiptoe. Interesting, you've got the Concilium, the Council of Ministers in Europe, with the eye, the Illuminati eye. And how many times do we see that? And what is that really? It's a pentagon. It's the classic symbol of Satanism. That's why you have that. That's why you have it on the United States of America flag. They're putting it in our face. This is from a Freemasonic temple building. There you've got the six-pointed star, which is a symbol of not only Israel and the Rothschilds, it's a symbol of Saturn in occult law. There you've got the reverse pentagram, the classic in the circle, the classic symbol of Satanism. There's the eye of the Illuminati. There's the rose, that's another one of their symbols. These things are all connected. So we had this terrible thing. We had communism. Oh my God, communism is such a bad thing. We must have more and more nuclear weapons and more spending on arms because the Cold War. We must defend ourselves. We must have NATO to defend ourselves from the Warsaw Pact. We can't have the centralization of power in Europe. Oh, there we go. There's the European Union. Take away the European Parliament. It's a joke. It's only there to give us the illusion that we have some kind of say in it. It's done by suits appointing themselves, sitting round a bloody table. 75% of laws in Britain now originate in the European Union, and not through elected people either. And so what we've done is we've accepted centralisation of power in Europe when we thought we'd got rid of it in Eastern Europe. And this is why dissidents that have come out of the former Soviet Union, they've said when they've come here, as the years have passed, this is the bloody communist bloc again. And as they rightly point out, the European Commission in Brussels is just the Politburo under another bloody name. Even him now, Putin, he wants to extend the free trade area into bloody Russia as part of all this. Because, you know, he's all part of it, or all big time bloody intelligence guy he is. And now we've got this Lisbon Treaty, It's basically created a United States of Europe with massive centralisation of power, which is allowing them to impose their will upon the people of Europe in our hundreds of millions, including what bloody light bulbs we can have. And here we go, these two